This event is particularly special to me because Christelle, the organizer and the leader, she and I go way back. So when she asked me to come in and be a guest speaker, nothing made me more proud, because if I can show up and support her the same way she has shown up and supported me throughout the years, I take nothing as a greater gift. We're going to do a lot of Q&A. We're going to talk about how to get down and applicable step-by-step processes that they can apply to their businesses starting today and moving forward. So let's go on in. Are you doing her something?
Here we go. Ready? What do we do?
Exhale. Feels so good. And I feel that part of the reason it feels so good is because it reminds us of our why. It reminds us of why we got started in doing the thing that we wanted to do in the first place. I was brought on today specifically to chat about building a brand and marketing on social media. You're going to be in a group for 3 days learning a bunch of different things. The last thing that anybody wants is theory, right? Let's talk about the 30,000 foot view of how we should build a brand and approach our social media. That's kind of that's great, but then when you go home, you just have a lot of ideas and not actual implementation. So the goal for us today would be to lay the basic framework of how to build a brand and how to create experiences, and then have an idea of when you get home to be I have a clear plan of action right about here and right about now. And the way that I think we get clear plans of action is when we can talk about our businesses openly, honestly, and candidly. That a brand is a series or set of memories, stories, endorsements, and experiences that taken together account for a consumer's decision to choose one business over another. So if anybody in this room has somebody in their industry who does something similar, you essentially have given your customers the option or the choice to choose between your business or somebody else's. The same way that you will choose to shop at Nordstrom instead of Bloomingdale's, Starbucks instead of Pete's, Nike instead of Reebok. We all have these ideas, these stories. Our job as entrepreneurs is to have a plan on how to create experiences so that people are wow, I am not hiring somebody to do my lashes. I'm not hiring a fitness professional. I'm not hiring a yoga professional. I'm hiring you to do the thing that I want. And that becomes an entirely different game. When you are no longer competing on what everybody else is doing and you're competing on your true authentic self, we are less intimidated. We're not looking at, the pie is only this much and there's all these people in it and woe is me, I can't get where I want to go. You can look at the pie and say, I am perfectly and uniquely qualified to serve a small sliver of that pie. And I will continue showing up and being myself and offering value. As we move into these ideas of creating value, we have to know ultimately, who are we creating value for? If you know who you are specifically targeting as you build your business, then all of a sudden, your worries, your woes, your frustrations will melt away because you understand this is the person I am here to serve. So if you haven't taken the time to clearly identify, and I do not mean, I serve women. No, because I actually had a conversation with a woman who said, I know who my target customer is, women. And I'm okay, that's about 51% of the human population. We're gonna have to narrow that down a tiny little bit. And she's okay, I serve women between the ages of 25 and 55. And I was no, you don't. You could, but who are you building your business for? And so then we narrowed it down to a woman between the ages of 30 and 35. Does she live in a big city? Does she live in a small town? What difference does it make? Well, the conversations that you start navigating online reflect big city life, small town life. Is she a mom? Is she not a mom? Because a woman who's 35 and not a mom is probably in a different mindset than a woman who has 3 kids and is a mom at 35. Is she a single mom? Does she have a spouse? Is she a well taken care of woman? Or are her and her partner equal spenders and investors in their lives together? Why? Because if you're an equal investor in your lives together, there's less pressure to justify an expense. If she's living a fancy life, fully funded by her husband, and she says, I want to have this business or I want to do this thing, that conversation, how you have to speak to her is so different.
How would you encourage someone who feels they're stalling out a little bit or it feels a little stale? What are when you feel that way, on social media, what do you